Well, that's a shame. This is one of Derek's plants, which is very weak, but as it pushed a spike out, I thought, given the name, we'll let it bloom and see if we've actually got the real thing. And we haven't got the real thing. So all the clever ones amongst you, what is wrong with this picture? The colour of the tag will give you a clue. A little annoyed actually that this is still going around incorrectly named. It's really annoying. So anyway, effectively it is not what it says on the label. What it says on the label is a yellow Oncidium. This is not a yellow Oncidium. It's pink. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a smashing plant to have, but it's not called that. So in fact, it's relatively easy to look up. I don't know, I tried looking it up this morning, and everywhere I looked apart from a couple of places has got this wrong. And that includes some very, very well-known nurseries, both in the EU, in South America, big one, beginning with E, that's got it wrong. Burnham's have got it wrong. And when I chatted with Sarah about that, she said, I've got too many labels to go around changing them now, and that's what everybody knows it as. And this is true. Yeah? This is what this plant has always been known as. And for 200 odd years, it's been fundamentally wrong. And trying to get people's mindset to change is just so difficult, because there's so many people in the orchid world that just won't use the internet. Which is where this sort of information comes up. It's not going to come up in a book, is it? It's only recently been discovered that it was named wrong. So how's that going to get in a book then? Yeah? And if nurseries have got it labelled wrong, everybody takes away the plant with the label on it and just believes it. You know, doesn't bother checking it out. Anyway, I mean, orchid species have got it correct, you know. And in addition to that, so is the Travelado blogspot or whatever it is. That one's got it right as well. And virtually every other place I looked up, including Wikipedia, is wrong. Yeah, it just you know, this effective error that took place so many years ago, that has recently been discovered, just doesn't seem to want to be accepted. But I was so hoping that I had the real thing. That's a little bit of a challenge for me. I would love to get hold of the real thing. But if you think about it, how is that going to happen? If all the nursery stock and everybody has got this plant labelled as that, where's the real thing going to come from? Because probably the only place it can come from is the wild, and that would be illegal unless done under license in its country of origin. Which I believe is, well, it's difficult to say, because if you look this one up, you will get the details of where it comes from. This, not the real thing. So this is a conundrum that continues. I was just hoping against all odds that this was going to come out yellow and I had the real thing. I would really, really like to get hold of the real thing. Because if I could get that to orchid societies and into shows with the yellow blooms on it, with that label on it, it would stir up a hornet's nest. Because everybody, including the judges, would come over and say, you've got that named wrong. And then I could look up and say, actually, no, I haven't. You've got it wrong. Little ambition of mine. Trying to get hold of the real thing is going to be impossible, I suspect. Just a dream. But who knows, in 50 years' time, when lots and lots more people are using the internet and forgetting the ancient scrolls and runes and all that sort of cobblers, it will be accepted that it was incorrectly named, and that's not what this pink one's called. Oh, fragrance is hitting me now, just from this tiny little spike. I'm going to let the blooms actually open and appreciate the spike for a few days, and then I'm afraid it's going to have to come off. Actually, no, it hasn't. If it was the real thing, then I'd be desperate to maintain this plant. But as it's not, what it really is common as muck. And I've actually got one over behind me anyway. Anyway, such a shame. Such a shame. I mean, they are lovely blooms, don't get me wrong. They're not going to show up against that background colour, are they? And there aren't many open enough. See if I can get one against the black and then get it to sit still, and then see if I can get the sharp focus to work so that you can have a nice close look. That's about as close as I can get, I think. That's not quite on the right plant either. Something like that. Lovely little blooms, but wherever you see it, incorrectly named. Such a shame. One day people will get their act together and get it right. And then maybe in a private collection or somewhere tucked away, somebody's going to look up and say, well, actually, I've got one of those and it's yellow. And then they can jump up and down and they've got the real thing. You know. Anyway, yeah, just a quick video on that as a subject. That probably winds me up more, even more, than people actually still calling Lindleyi aggregatum, which annoys me, although it is a synonym, so it is acceptable. But a Mr. Lindley discovered that, so I would suggest that Lindleyi is a much more acceptable name. And you'll still find Jenkinsii actually sold as Lindleyi variety Jenkinsii. Wrong again. Oh dear. I wish people would catch up with the times. Keep up. See you next time. Bye for now.